Welcome to episode 4 and happy Halloween. This show is about getting started in real estate by flipping the easiest type of property, that's land. Today is about why paying for top quality data is crucial. And by the way, I have a special Halloween treat coming at the end, so stay tuned. The purpose of this weekly live show is to answer questions about getting started in flipping land and moving on to bigger transactions and other types of real estate. I'm Jill DeWitt, co-founder of Land Academy, and together with my partner, Stephen Jack Butala, we have completed close to 16,101 transactions of all types of property. We all know there's money to be made in real estate, and most people are doing it wrong. I am here every Wednesday at 2 o'clock Pacific time to help you connect the dots. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about why paying for top quality data is so crucial in our land flipping efforts. And then in about 15 minutes, I'm going to open up and answer all your questions. We're all here to do this right. And that means we want to buy and sell properties quickly and efficiently and target the right ones, not the problem ones. So how do we do this? We use only the best data possible. And in a minute, I'll share one of our sources, but first I want to talk about the data. So what does that mean, the best data possible? Well, that means it's the most up-to-date property detail and ownership information available. I love when I get to talk to someone who has experience collecting data the hard way because I know I can help them. The hard way involves contacting a specific county, usually picking up the phone and calling them, trying to get in touch with the right person, explaining all the criteria of everything that you need, and man, fingers crossed that they wrote it all down and they understood what you're looking for, paying them, waiting days, sometimes weeks for it back, then spending a few more days, sometimes weeks, poring over this information to try to make sense of it all. Or maybe you have a virtual assistant, a VA, and wait from them for days and weeks to try to make sense of it all and get it into a usable format. Then they get it back to you, and now you can finally scrub it and price it. Boy, I know all of this because we did it the hard way, and now we can save you. When I share my source of data, when I'm talking to people who've done it the hard way, and how easy it is for me now to sign on a Sunday afternoon and spend a few hours on what took days and weeks to accomplish the hard way, everyone is thrilled. And I'm going to show you a little bit of it in a minute here. So it's so easy for me to prove how spending money on great data up front saves so much more time and money and energy in the end. Now, there's good data and there's bad data. So how do you tell the difference? Well, good data is current and accurate, have high nationwide coverage. It's extremely detailed to supply all of your specific criteria, whatever it is. And it's delivered in the same CSV download every single time. Imagine that, right? So I'm going to get into a little more detail about it now. Current and accurate. So let me show you a little bit about our data right now, and I'm going to show you how I can tell how current and accurate it is. So watch this. Here is an example of one of the data sources that we use. So this is we use CoreLogix primarily for land, and I'll tell you more in a minute, RealQuest Pro. As you can see, here's just kind of a screenshot of what it looks like when I'm pulling up some data. I've selected California, Los Angeles, and right over here on the top, I'm going to kind of put it in blue there for everybody. Look how current this is. Today is Halloween, right? 10/31. This was last updated 10/26. It's pretty darn amazing. This is what I'm talking about. That's the accuracy of what you want to deal with. This company too, just so you know, happens to have between 99, actually in all of our source of views, we get between 99 and 100% coverage of all of the counties. It's unbelievable. I mentioned extreme detail. I want to show you a little bit too. Let me go down and just kind of give you an idea. I'm going to click in here on the non-filter field list in my data, because I want to show you just how detailed I can get. This is amazing. Let me show you. I mean, if you're doing houses, you can get into different specifics on the houses. For us, I'm using things like, I might get into census tract pricing. I need improvement percent. I need land use. Look at all this stuff. I want to get into, make sure there's no mortgage for things, loan amount, loan to value. This just gives you a really good idea of what's in here. Some property tax, when it was recorded, sale date, sales price. It's pretty amazing the level of what we have. So that's just an idea of what I'm talking about, how current and accurate, the coverage, how detailed, and then the beauty of it is, with that supplier, it's delivered the same time every time, the same columns line up, which is beautiful. It's such a time saver if I'm doing maybe multi-counties at a time, or gosh, I just don't have to relearn a new county every time I go and download some data, and I don't have to start over again and understand their columns and their formatting. So that's good data. So what's the opposite? Well, bad data, right? Well, bad data is hard to work with, right? Darn near impossible to sort. It's missing necessary information. It can be too cheap. It can be too expensive. I've seen both versions of bad data. And I think it's bad if it comes from an unreliable source. I'm not buying it from anybody but a company who's been around a long time, and we have a history with them, and I know it's good. Okay, so where do you get this great data? Well, I kind of showed you a little bit. Our data, the primary source that we use for land transactions is CoreLogix RealQuest Pro. I love them. It's not a plug, by the way. It's just who we use. It's the best. As you can see, it's accurate, detailed, has everything that I need. When I download that data, I have 363 columns of property, ownership, and mortgage detail. They often have a direct feed from the county, so I know that it is fast and up to date. I have the most current info. Is it expensive? Okay, now we're talking about where to get this great data. Is it expensive? Can be, and that's why you want to be part of a group and get it at a reduced rate. And that's kind of what we do. We became licensed providers of the top 3 providers just so we can get our members a break on this data. So I know that we can get it to them at the best rate possible. Why? Because you need access to the professional level tools along with support and to know how to use this stuff in order to be successful. So no matter what, wherever you get your data, spend some money, do it right, and make sure it's great. It's much better to spend that money up front on top quality data. So now I want to go ahead and open it up for Q&A. So please type in your questions, and happy to answer them. Let's see here. Thank you, Patricia. I see that. I have to say hello. Hi. In Chicago. You look amazing. Thank you very much. Happy Halloween. Great. Oh, this is awesome. Thank you. Nice hair. Thank you very much. I think it's Dion, I'm going to guess. Thank you so much. So fire away. I know this is a big topic, data. I know a lot of us get hung up on this, and we'll get you there. And that's why I do this show. I want to help you kind of ease you in, talk about data, know what's the best, and then you want to get deeper into data and scrubbing and stuff. We'll do that on another show. Let me know. So, all right, I have Unika, I think, asks, what are options deals? Is that something you recommend for beginners? Awesome question. Okay. I usually use an option deal when I either don't have enough money to complete the transaction or I'm not really happy about the price. So an option deal is I'm not paying cash for something. I'm making an agreement with the seller that I'm going to option the property and I'm going to maybe potentially buy it in a set amount of days. And we sign a quick one-page piece of paper where he agrees that, okay, for 90 days, Jill, you have the option to buy my property at this price. And then he's going to do nothing. That's his agreement with me. And I say, great, thank you. I'll get back to you. So now I have 90 days where I'm going to go and I'm going to try and sell that property. Why am I doing this? Because like I said, I don't have enough money. Maybe my acquisition funds are all spent for the month. And this is still a pretty good deal. And the guy is kind of hot and I don't think I can push him off and have him wait. So I'm going to tell him, let's do an option. I'll see what I can do. I don't have to give him money right now. I put it on my website. That's giving me him signing that agreement lets me put it on my website. Let me market it with my other properties, see if I can sell it. And then if I do, then I call him up and say, are we still good? And then I close the deal. So then the person buys it. I immediately, they buy it from me. I immediately buy it from him. I cash in the middle. Do I recommend this to someone starting out? No, I don't. I'd say hold off, pay cash. So it's just when you're new and starting out. And the other thing I mentioned was, if I don't agree on the price, I'm not real thrilled about the price. So maybe it's something that I love it for $5,000 because I think I can sell it for $11,000. But this seller really wants $9,000. You know what? I still think I can sell it for 11. I don't want to plop down a lot of money. I don't want to plop down 9 if I'm not real sure how it's going to go. So I might do an option agreement and say, all right, I'll option it for 9. I'm going to go try to sell it for 12. If it happens, great. Or 11, whatever it is, great. Then I'll follow through. If it doesn't happen, it's okay. I didn't spend the money. So, excellent question. Mary says, what parameters do you normally request for vacant land data? Awesome. There's a long list. This is a great, I think Mary might be new in our group if I'm remembering correctly. Mary, you can let me know here in a minute, but it's called Chapter 5. There are a few. You're looking for, I'll just kind of name some of the big ones. You're going to look for rural vacant land. You might get into recreational. You might look at zoning, depending on what you're looking for. Your parameters are going to be a certain size. Maybe you're targeting the 5-acre properties. So that's a parameter you're going to fill in. You might even cap the assessed value. I don't care about the assessed value, but when I'm pulling data, maybe I'm going to make offers, under $10,000. So I'm going to cap the assessed value at like $50,000 or $75,000, something like that. So I don't download $1 million properties because I know I have no intention of mailing them. So that's just an example too. And when you get into the program, and for everybody watching, that's a great question, Mary. Very smart. This is a level of detail and a perfect example of how brainy our group is and how specific we are and why we do so well. I mean, we are really thinking ahead. We're not just blasting a county and just kind of guessing and doing this haphazardly. We are real strategic because you know what? Mail costs money and data costs money and my time costs money. And I really want to zero in with good offers for the right people and just make it easy. And once you get in, Mary, and you learn this, it'll be a piece of cake. You'll I just talked to, one of our members the other day, Justin Sleva, and he was saying, gosh, I've got it down to, I think, under 2 hours for kind of picking a county and sorting it. He says, I think I have it under 2 hours. Then I go to sleep. I wake up the next morning, look at it, make sure it still looks good. Then I still like my pricing and my numbers. Then I push a button to offer to owners and let the mail rip. So thank you. Let's see. So I think this might be my team answering this. So what land use types do you use for rural vacant land? I wanted to say, that was a question, answering a question with a question. I am not sure. Oh, hey, Diane, this is an awesome question. What does due diligence entail? Excellent. I want to make sure that when the person calls me back, now I'm doing my due diligence, they receive my offer, they call me back, I need to make sure that I'm talking to the right person. He is the owner and the seller, so he can make the decision. I want to make sure everybody involved in the transaction, by the way, this is usually my second thing, is if husband and wife are on there, I want to make sure everybody's alive and able to sign. If there's 6 people, I want to make sure they're all on the same page, because if any one of them are not interested in selling, it's not going to happen. I'm going to stop right there. I confirm the size. I confirm the price, make sure it's what I want to spend. I look at taxes. I want to know where the tax situation is. I want to look at homeowners association, HOA, or a property owners association, a POA. I want to check all that stuff. So just think everything I need to know, I'm going to check all that ahead of time. And that's part of my due diligence, to know that, I want to buy the property. And the other thing, don't forget, are those 4 A's. We talked about that, I think it was last week. I'll hit those again. So the 4 A's when you're looking at property are, 4 A's are, there you go, access, affordability. So access, can I get there? Is there a road, even a dirt road I'm good with right now? Affordability, I want legal access too, though, by the way. Affordability, I want to make sure it's priced right. Acreage, usually when you're starting out with rural vacant land, the bigger the better. Infill lots, a whole different ballgame, but acreage is good. And then an attribute, that's the other one. Like, is it got pretty trees? Is it on a lake? What special, unique quality does it have? So, good question. Mary Crawford asks, what is the price for non-members versus members for this CoreLogic data? Excellent question. The last was between $230 and $275. I want to say it was even higher, because we always get the nationwide coverage per user for CoreLogic access, period. So excellent question. We have it down to, for $250, we have, our members get not only CoreLogic, they get Title Pro 24/7. They have access to us with our weekly member calls. They have discounts to things like 20% off at Pat Live. They have free deeds. We have a lot. They have our free access to our company Parcel Fact for mapping and finding things. So we added it up the last time. Like, if I was going rogue and add it all up, it would be well over $1,000. I want to say closer to $1,500 a month to get all the tools and things that we do for $250 a month. So excellent question. Remley asks, what support is available for new members after joining? Bring it. There's a lot. First of all, there is a special members only area in the back of our online community, landinvestors.com. So back in there is a bunch of hidden conversations with real numbers, more in depth going on, and Stephen and I are with you answering your questions. Number 2, you have access to our deal board. A lot of things going on there. You need help with funding, a lot of little private things that our members are doing together. We also have a free, well, it's included, but our members also get every week Thursday afternoon at 3 o'clock Pacific time, we have a member call. They are all recorded too. And those are awesome. And it's Stephen and I every week, every Thursday, right there on a webinar where everybody just gets to an hour with us, sometimes more. We go over often. Ask away any questions. Then we also have consulting opportunities. We just started a few months ago doing live events so people can really just, sit down with us and talk about things. So we offer a lot. And that, because we've learned that, it's one thing to know all the nuances and everything, but there's a lot to this, and be able to ask questions and have it from us right here, not just, somebody who works for me kind of thing. It's important. And so we make that available to you. Good question. Oh, Cheryl asks, we just met on this too today, Cheryl. What can we expect from Land Academy 2.0? Okay, so Land Academy 2.0, we were originally targeting today, I will be honest, and it's pushed back right about 3 weeks now, so bear with me. Every time we do this, there's a reason for it, Cheryl, and I promise it's because it's going to be better. So it's going to be awesome. And 3.0 or 2.0, excuse me, is the next step. It's a culmination of everything that we learned in 1.0. 1.0 is still valid. So what it is, it's a few extra things on 1.0 that we've learned now with how many hundreds of members later to help you ramp up a little faster. It's things that are easier now too, by the way, because when we did 1.0, we didn't have all the tools and the resources and things that we have now today. So it talks about that and make sure that you know how to use those tools. And then also infill lots. And that's the biggest thing, because so many of our members are ramping up fast and they are ready to go to bigger dollar amounts, bigger transactions. So it talks about that. And then also some things about growing your business. So, and getting that bigger. So excellent question. All right. This is a big one here. So I'll read it and then I'll hide it here. All right. So Autumn asks, okay, so I'm still seeing me. Hi, Jill. For a residential SFR transaction, I am usually able to turn a wholesale contract around in 1 to 3 hours to an end buyer. Yep, because I feel safe with rehabs. Excellent. Anytime I try to assign land, it drags on and on because the end buyers in Washington deal with a lot of ECA issues. Oh, I can help with this. Usually it takes 30 to 60 days for them to decide if they want to buy it from me. Thoughts? Absolutely. We are just about, this is perfect, Autumn. I know what you're talking about, and here's what we're doing for ourselves too. Doing infill lots, we need to know ahead of time if it's buildable, where the utilities are, and details like that related to those building purposes. We are just about to introduce, because we're using it ourselves, we're going to make it available to our members. It's infill, I'm trying to think of the name my team will put it. It's Info Report. That's it. Inforeport.com is a website that we are introducing right now that's going to solve this for you. So when you find the property now, you will be able to pay for an info report, and it's like a 9-page detailed report that tells you where all the utilities are, buildable, gradable, maybe I can't remember how perk information. It's basically everything the builder needs to move ahead on that, and that's probably what's holding you up. And we've found that too. So this is going to solve it. And the best thing is it's going to be priced so well that you'll want to do it ahead of time, because you won't want to buy a property unless you know for sure, what you can really do with it, unless it's really inexpensive. So if you're going to plop down a bit of money, you want to know that stuff ahead of time. So excellent question. That's good. And I love Autumn, by the way. What you're doing is what we do. The reason you flip an SFR so fast is like the same we do, because you have a buyer's list and then you've been dealing with them so long. You already know what they like. And that's the way we do it. And that's what everybody else should be doing it. And that's also what we're teaching in 2.0. Get that buyer's list like Autumn has ahead of time, because it's so great to know that, you'll know when you see this property, this area, you already have 3 builders that are scrambling for more properties, and it sells so fast. It's just kind of like you put it out there, and hey, it's kind of first come, first serve, and it's a great place to be. And that's what Autumn does with SFR. So that's awesome. All right, let's see. All right. So Reggie asks, I don't understand how to get started with the first property deal. If you send out many mailers in multiple counties and more than a couple people respond, what happens with you if you only want to start with one property? I thought once they send the response back, it means they want to buy it. So here's what I do. Okay, I'd like you to have enough money to buy a handful and do more than one at the same time. Get like 5 going or 10 going. Get those out of the way. And when you get all these offers back, and I say start with one county. Don't try to learn 4 counties at the same time. When you're learning, start with one county right now and make it simple. Do the same property size. Maybe do 5 acres in XYZ county in Texas. Maybe you know the area a little bit, and you've checked and you know it's an easy county to work with. Let's start there. So you get your offers out, and they all come back. And you want to send. This is why you want to send a bunch of mail at the same time as well. You want to look at them all at the same time. So let's say you send your offers out, 2 weeks pass. Now you've got 10 people that have either called you or sent back your offers. I want you to line them all up and do your due diligence. I want you to put them in there and put the best one at the top, like, owned by one guy, he's alive, there's no HOA, and taxes are current, and he's ready to go. He's at the top. Next one, well, I need to think about this because the taxes are behind, or something like that. Line them all up like that. Pick the top ones. Also, when you're talking to these people and you get the response back, ask them, how fast do you need to close? Because that's going to make a difference. That might push somebody at the top, like, wow, this guy is really hot. He's so excited. He even said he'll take less than my offer price because he wants to get rid of it. Well, guess what? Now he goes to the top. So you can have those conversations with people too. And I've done that. I've said, all right, how fast are you? And some people might say, you know what? I can do it in the next 60 days. Can we do that? And I'll say, great. And I'll, slot them in. And as quickly as I can get that money together, I'm going to run and buy it before they change their mind. But that's awesome. Let's see here. Teddy asks, any advice in regards to setting up my data? Thank you in advance. Setting up my data. Well, yes. If you're brand new, Teddy, well, this is a good question too, because there's one way if you guys want to test this that I haven't shared. We have our full service data available via offers to owners. If you want to not think about the membership yet, or just see what's available, kind of run some numbers, maybe just kind of get some offers out there, or just kind of basically test it without diving in and getting our program or committing to anything, you could actually go to offers to owners and do full service. And it's 99 cents for data and mail all in. And my team will take your request, like, okay, I want all the 5-acre properties in this county, and this is the criteria I want. They'll pull it for you, send it to you for you to kind of learn and play with and work with, and get your columns in line, and they'll walk you through getting it ready to merge with a mailer and then get it in the mail. And it's like I said, 99 cents per ownership, and that's data and mail and the personal service. It's a great place to start. So that's a great question. I'll tell you that. Anne asks, how long does it take to learn all of this and get your first deal done? I'd say 30 days, Anne, if you're conservative, is a good number. I have people that have gone bananas and spent, it's kind of funny. They got our program and they were like so excited. And I get these emails saying, thanks a lot, Jill. I was up till 2 a.m. watching you guys. I can't wait, kind of thing. I'm like, all right, that's awesome. So, and the next thing you know, they're putting, they just are just going for it. So you could go for it, and in a week or two have people calling you back, or you could even still taking your time, watch the program a whole weekend, spend the next weekend getting ready, spend the third weekend, picking your county and getting the mail out. The next weekend, here come the offers, and then you're buying it, and by your month, you've already bought something and it's in your name, and hopefully, like we teach you, is as you're buying it, you're prepping it to sell. So you could be, you could sign it on one day and, buy it on one day and sell it the next day. That totally happens. So great question. A moment here. I have to go. Let's see here. So Jenny asks, how strongly do you recommend getting a virtual assistant? Jenny, I think it's great. I would get one right away for a lot of the little stuff, especially if you have a full-time job. I don't use a VA, a virtual assistant, for answering the phones, things like that. But for doing due diligence, like say you have a phone, either you're answering the phone or you have a phone service taking your, inbound calls from sellers, and putting it in a spreadsheet for you. Gosh, you could have your VA go fill in all the items for you. I would have them. They could look up the property taxes for you. They could confirm ownership for you. They could put GPS coordinates in there for you. So when you sit down, maybe it's, Sunday afternoon and you get time now to look at these and figure out which ones you want to buy and call back and act on. And then they could have done the work for you. So I think it's great. So, it's not urgent, but it's always good to have and start training them. And the best way, I'll tell you a tip too, Jenny, is what we have learned is we make short videos for them. So it's hard sometimes to tell them exactly, it's hard to give them a checklist and say, go do it. But if you make a video with you showing, here's the website, here I'm logging in, here's what I want you to look for, and do it on all these 50 properties and just send it over, they'll do that. You'll wake up the next morning and it's done. So excellent question. Mary asks, you've talked previously about not sending letters, to a saturated market. Approximately how many properties in a certain acreage that you find for sale would be too many in a market? And also, if you find only a few for sale on some of the websites, how few would you discourage you from sending letters to a certain county? I get more concerned with a lot of available property. I don't really want to be one of 1,000, but I want to be one of 5 is really it. And there's no real set number, but maybe I'd look at it like a percentage. I'd say less than maybe 5%. I know my partner, Steven, he's the best one to answer this. So I think, Mary, if you're in my group, this is a perfect question directly for Steven on our weekly member call. But my thoughts are, if it's like, under 3% of the properties in that county, and you can look at this without downloading all the data, by the way, you can go in and see just how many properties exist and then see how many are for sale. So if it's a low number like that, love it. But if it's a high number, I don't want to, I don't want to mess with that. Let's see. Oh, Autumn said, AKA hesitant on the ability to exit the land deal as quickly as SFR transactions. Autumn, I hear you, and I got to tell you, there's a reason why we are, I don't know how many properties along, and our members, a lot of them are doing bigger deals faster and better than we are, and I don't worry about it at all. But it's valid. I would talk to them. Go look at all the properties, and it's not even every property's in there, by the way. I'd say maybe a fourth of the properties that our members have, maybe less, are posted in landpin.com, our selling site. So that gives you an idea of what's out there and what these guys are flipping and how fast they're doing it. So I go look and then talk to them. Go into our online community. It's free. Ask them. So, but I understand. And it's just one of those things too, Autumn. That was one of the mindsets I had to get past. Even properties that I thought were kind of funky and way out there, I would say to myself, who would want that? And then every time I do that, I'm eating my words. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean they don't like it. And the number of people who are, thinking about land and, leaving the rat race and tiny houses and want to build their dream thing, it's better than, when I started 10 years ago. It keeps getting better. So it's awesome. Good question though. Let's see. Mary asks, I'm going to keep going, everyone. These are awesome questions. So while you have some good questions, I'm going to keep going here. Mary asks, even if you use the Title Pro membership, to search the ownership of a property, would you still need to spend the extra money to pull title and get title insurance? Do you have any discounts and tools for this too? Okay, so usually our sweet spot, Mary, is $5,000. I got to have enough money in it to justify spending for title insurance. So even if it's a really great deal, but it's not a lot of money, and I'm concerned in some reason, then I just wouldn't do the deal. So say there's an ownership issue and I'm not sure where to find this guy. I'm only, by the time, if I do title insurance, I'm only going to make $1,000 on the transaction, then I would pass on the transaction. It's too easy to send out more mail and get more good deals. And that's what we do all the time. I don't even think about it, I just move on. So it's got to be above the $5,000, and I'm looking at it. And if you're new, I would, and then make sure I have enough in the spread, to justify paying for it. So excellent question. Let's see. Thank you. Thank you, Reggie. Some great knowledge from Jill. Thank you very much. All right. Autumn asks, all right, Autumn, we got to talk after this. If you're not in our group, you need to be in our group. You are asking all the right questions. You are clearly, you get this, and I love it. And I love that you've done, what's so great, Autumn, too, is since you've done SFRs, which are some of the harder transactions, I mean, let's be honest. When you get involved with a house and what you're, and there's lenders sometimes involved, and all the things that can go wrong with that. And I have a lot of people in our group that started with properties because they thought land wasn't sexy. We joked about that a couple of weeks ago. So they started with this and they said, what a mess. And they come over here and they're like, this is the greatest thing ever. And I have somebody, and they've also said, I've never lost money on a land deal. I have many members who have said that have lost money on a house deal. So this is great. And also too, what you'll learn here will help your house flipping efforts, your house buying efforts too, because you'll look at it a whole different way now, and you'll get better at your data, and you'll get better at getting in and finding the right sellers that you want. So that's what we do. So it says, Jill, follow-up question. Once you have your land buyers list, just starting out, how quickly should you expect to be able to resell or assign the land once you publish it online? First thing, I'm not trying to assign it. I want to pay cash. I want to flip it fast. And you know what, Autumn? Here's how I do it. I'm buying properties for, let's just say it's $2,000. I'm selling it for $4,000 because every other property online is priced 8, 9, 10 or above. Then it's easy and it's fast and your issues will go away. And that's what we do. So, think about it with a house. What if you have a house that, I'm in California. So median, let's just say Torrance, California, average might be $800,000. Man, if $800,000, if I pick up a rockin' deal that's in the $600,000 range, you think I'm gonna have any trouble flipping it really fast? Nope. No, I'm gonna have people breaking down my door. So, and Autumn also says, do you have a live land for sale website? I do. That we can preview and see how you advertise online, or is that top secret? Thanks. It is not top secret. Go to landpin, PIN.com. And that is, first of all of our members are collaborating, and that's a tool that we give to them to use to market, drive traffic to their website, as a group, and sell property. And then also, if you want to look at mine, go to landstay.com. The only thing I have to tell you, Autumn, is so many of my properties, the way we're doing it now, they don't hit my website. And that's the goal here too. That's my preferred method. When I get things in, I have a buyer's list that I just kind of blast out a quick email that's pretty much, state, county, APN, sales price. They're professionals. That's all they need. they go look it up and they send me back an email saying, I'll take those 3 and that one there, kind of thing. And that's what we do. So great question. So they don't hit my site. You're welcome, Anne. I'm glad to help. Anne said, thanks, Jill. Some great advice. Thank you. This is so nice. I am so happy to be here and answer your questions. Thank you. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, Mary. All right, Ben. Ben asks, does a signed blind offer letter work as a contract for closing with a title company, or do I need to have a specific signed contract to send to the title company? Nope, it doesn't. So the purchase agreement that when we send out, we looked at that last week. I showed you the cover page, and then the second page was the purchase agreement. So that signed purchase agreement has the offer price in there and the property information with a spot for the seller to sign it and date it and get it back to you. They can, fax it, take a picture of it, email it to you, mail it to you, whatever. That is all you need to go forward and just hand it to your escrow agent. You don't even need that much, but that works perfect just to open escrow. So excellent question. You're welcome, Autumn. All right. Well, this has been wonderful. So thank you, everyone. I want to wrap up and say, please be sure, any follow-up questions or things you want to hear about or talk about, myself or my team, please leave them in the comments area below. And as I promised, tonight, here's what we're doing. Through tonight, end of Halloween, it's Halloween, yay, we are now taking $800 off. So if you're thinking about it, kind of on the fence, you need a little extra push, you want to get in, whatever, it's $800 off through tonight if you put in the coupon code GHOST. So, and just go to landacademy.com, click on the join here, and it'll take you right through to the checkout page. You put in GHOST and put in your information. And then, by the way, too, the minute you check out, you are right into the system, and you are right there. We have the program all online. You can start watching that minute. Your data access to RealQuest Pro and Title Pro 24/7 is immediate. When you log in, you're going to get those right on your dashboard. You'll have your login information, and then all the rest will start popping in. So you could start playing with it tonight while you're handing out candy. So thank you. I am Jill DeWitt. Thank you for joining me today. I'm here to help you get started. That's the hardest part.